Alright, we're gonna make an earthquake. Pretty powerful. We're entering Washington. It's another beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest.
At least we're prepared.
Yeah. There she is.
Swept northward from the volcano as a stone-filled wind of rock fragments, ash, and hot gas that blew down trees as far away as 17 miles.
There's my little earthquake. Alright, we're gonna make an earthquake. Pretty powerful. There's no sound when you're right up near it. Going for a nice boardwalk stroll. Made it to Mount Rainier. Alright, we are gonna try to get our first come first serve campground.
Hopefully we get one.
It's almost 9 a.m. so it's pretty early. But is it early enough?
I don't know.
So unfortunately, a lot of stuff in this park is closed right now. They're like redoing this road, and this road is closed seasonally and doesn't open till July. So basically everything we can do is down here at the bottom of the map. And our campsite is inconveniently far away because since this road is closed, we have to drive 2 hours out of the park to get to this one. So Sarah's in there working her magic, seeing if we can find a different campground. So far, Mount Rainier is not off to a great start.
For this week's episode, I decided to do a local story here in Washington, and I am going to do the greatest tragedy Mount Rainier has ever seen.
Walking along some snow again. Ooh. The Comet Falls is frozen over, and there's this guy in front of us walking in the snow and literally just like slid down. He caught himself, he's okay. But it kind of freaked us out. So we decided to turn around and go back.
And they told us that it gets snowier as you go up. And the view, we already saw the fall. And he was like, the view doesn't really get better.
So, calling it quits.
She's picking on him.
He's just a baby.
Oh.
Alright, we got our dinner. Tonight we're eating sausage, sweet potato, and green beans. Well-rounded meal. And we figured we'd give a little story time over dinner.
I don't even know where to begin. We start going on this trail to, I don't remember, some
Comet
waterfall.
Falls.
Oh yeah, Comet Falls. It was like, oh yeah, Christine Falls to Comet Falls. And 3 miles. And we knew it was like gonna be snowy. And so we start hiking and we get to this part where there's like, so the mountain is kind of like this way and we're walking along like this.
It's steep.
First we like cross the snow like this and it's pretty easy, like the slope is not that bad. And we see these 2 older women walking towards us who kind of like warn us that it gets steeper and like just to be careful and you can kind of decide. And we see it and it like doesn't look that bad, so we decide to keep going. And then we see a family of 3 walking towards us, and as they're coming, the son, who's probably like 15 years old, is like pretty close to the end of the snowy part, and we're like waiting for them on the woodsy part of the trail, and he like starts sliding down and just like a little bit, like 5 feet or something. And he's like fine and gets back up, and we're like, okay, like is it worth it? And they're like, no, like it gets steeper and like more snowy, so you should probably turn around. So we did.
It was a mom, a dad, their son, and their little service husky dog. He was really cute.
So cute.
So then we're all trekking back pretty much in single file because the trail's so narrow, especially at like the snowy steep angle. You can literally only go 1% at a time. And there's kind of like footprints where the people ahead of you have gone, so you know where to stand.
There's just a trail going along the snow and it just kind of slides down, but it is pretty steep. Like it was kind of scary. And there's a river at the bottom of the slope.
Yeah. And like the way that, because it's mid-June, a lot of the snow is starting to melt, and so there's like little tiny trickle, like not really waterfalls, but they're trickling down the mountain, kind of going underneath the snow. So you got a couple feet of snow with water trickling underneath, and it creates air pockets. And so we noticed that there were some like big crater holes kind of in the middle of the snow. Well, we're walking along and it happened in an instant. Like we were not prepared at all. The mom and the dad slipped, lost their footing. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden they are sliding down the cliff super fast. Like their dog sliding with them.
Scrambling. Everyone is like flailing.
It's just like boom.
All 3 of them sliding.
And they slide right down into one of those holes
and disappear.
They're gone. We just see their arms go down into the hole,
and we like don't know how deep it is. We know that there's water underneath because of the water that was like trickling down, and their son is just, we're standing back watching this all happen, and then the son is just standing there on the trail screaming curse words.
Just absolutely like terrified.
Insane.
He's screaming, Phil, Phil, Phil. I guess that was the guy's name. And there's no response. Like we don't hear anything.
Nothing.
We don't know if these people are injured. We don't know if these people are in the hole, in the water.
We don't know anything.
Nothing. So then the son, he immediately wants to run after them. And we're like, be careful. Like you don't want to fall in the
like
hole
go slow.
Either. So he kind of goes to the side of the trail, down the hill where it's less snowy. This guy's wearing cowboy boots. I don't know how he did it. I guess just like momentum of trying to save his family. He just went for it. Meanwhile, Sarah and I stayed back and we're like, what do we do? What do we do?
And luckily, my parents had gotten me this thing called an eye beacon. I'm sure some of you guys know what that is, but it's just like this little device that has like a really specific GPS locator, and so you like flip up the antenna and press the button in an emergency situation, and it can like send rescue services if you're like stuck. I pressed the button, and then maybe like 5 minutes after, the son like is walking down, finally like gets close enough to the hole where they fell in that
the second hole, because he goes down to the bottom hole.
Oh, I didn't know there was another hole down there. Oh, okay. Well, he goes down to the hole and like is yelling, and finally gets to a spot where he can hear them, and he's like, oh, they're answering, and the dad, I guess, is saying that they're fine. Well, he said fine enough, and so I'm like, okay, do I like leave this emergency thing on? And they like make their way out of the hole, and they're climbing up, and they like wait. They finally get across and like wait for us to get across.
The dad was like, you waited for us. And we were like, yeah, we're not gonna leave you guys. And I said, what happened down there? And he was like, basically when they fell through the first hole, there was like an ice tunnel that's underneath the huge layers of snow, I guess from all the water melting. And the tunnel was leading towards the river. Somehow they were able to stop themselves sliding down it with their dog.
Yeah, and she's like carrying her dog, trying to get him out of the hole.
So they're able to like get themselves out. He was like, I think I maybe broke my rib. I noticed she had like scratches on her arm. It looked like she had a black eye, but we don't know if that was like from
It
that.
could have been like a birthmark. It was just like red.
The dog was spooked. He was like running away down the trail, and they were freaking out like, don't let him get away. Like it was just mad chaos, like all in the matter of minutes. And thankfully they were okay.
They like walked away, walked out of the trail.
So then Sarah and I like walk maybe, it felt like maybe 20 minutes back to like the start of the trail. We saw 2 rescue people coming up in their fluorescent yellow jackets.
And she's like walking all calm.
Walking. Do you guys know anyone in distress? We were like, that was us. She's looking at us like, you guys are walking fine, what's the emergency?
And she's just like smiling at us. And we tried telling her the story, and she's just like, okay, like that was the right thing to do.
They're like, there's law enforcement down the parking lot that you'll have to talk to. And they just like keep on walking.
And they're just like,
and we're like, we just witnessed this traumatic event. Like, are you not gonna react more? I don't know. So then we make it down to the parking lot. There's like an ambulance there, and 2 like park ranger officers. Super calm. They're just like, hey, you guys were the ones that released the emergency radar? We're like, yeah. And they're like, what happened? And we start telling them the story all over again, all the details, all the commotion, all the craziness. And they're like, okay, can you fill out this piece of paper reporting the incident of what happened, since you're
just
a witness?
a witness statement. They were like, can you just fill out this witness statement? And gave us a clipboard.
Super calm. And I was like, to Sarah, I was like, maybe it's just because it's their job. They're used to like rescue missions every day, while we're over here like,
The officer was telling us that this happened 2 weeks ago. And I was like, why don't they close the trail? And she was like, that's what I'm saying, and like pointed to the clipboard.
You could tell she was like, I think this trail should be closed, but it's not up to me.
And she said, this is the most dangerous time of year to come to Mount Rainier because of all the, like, the snow is melting, but it's warm enough that people like want to be out hiking. But you know, as we were going down that trail, I was telling every single person, you better not go. Like, you need to turn around, it's really dangerous up there.
We were telling people, like, we literally just saw these people fall in a hole down the cliff, going towards the water.
And they were just like, okay, and kept walking up the trail.
It's crazy.
Like, what the heck? I don't know. But we were very shaken up. Even just witnessing it.
It was scary.
Because, I mean, even though it was just such a short, like, few minutes, so many things go through your brain. Your adrenaline is kicking in. And, like, I really thought that they were underwater, like stuck or something.
Yeah, it was really scary. And in those moments of like, you just feel helpless because like you want to go help them, but you also need to like make sure you yourself are okay.
Yeah, because it's like, if all of us tried to go down there and help them, then like we could have all been stuck.
Yeah.
But thanks, Mom and Dad, for the GPS locator, because at least now we know that it works.
It works, and they come and rescue you really fast.
Yeah.
So hopefully we never have to use that again. We're gonna leave Mount Rainier in the morning because we're just kind of like,
yeah.
Okay.
We spent the rest of the day at the lodge, like relaxing by the fire and like doing work on our computers and stuff, which was really nice.
So that was our Mount Rainier experience.
And we're good for the trip.
Yep, we're good. On to the next thing. Seattle, here we come.
Yep.